For the first time in the history of the modern automotive industry, the prospect of gasoline-powered vehicles being surpassed by new energy vehicles is no longer a distant prediction, but a reality unfolding in China. As the world's largest auto market, this nation is experiencing a rapid shift that could reshape the global industrial balance. From its former role as the world's assembly workshop, China is now setting new standards for how humanity moves in the 21st century. Join Top 10 Discoveries officials to explore this transformative story. Recent statistics underline the extraordinary transformation taking place in the automotive market. In the year 2024, sales of new energy vehicles in China surpassed 12,800,000 units. Only 1 year later, forecasts suggest this figure will rise to between 15,500,000 and 16 million units, representing a growth rate of close to 20%. Even more striking, in the first 8 months of 2025 alone, China absorbed approximately 9,600,000 new energy vehicles, accounting for 45% of the more than 21 million newly sold vehicles overall. This unmatched proportion signals that electric and plug-in hybrid cars are set to overtake traditional gasoline vehicles for the very first time within this year. Yet these are not simply numbers. They mirror a much wider consumer shift. Buyers in major metropolitan areas such as Shanghai and Shenzhen are increasingly drawn to electric models, with adoption rates in certain neighborhoods exceeding 90%. Gasoline vehicles, once the unquestioned choice, are rapidly losing ground and no longer hold their former dominance. What is happening is not a temporary fad, but a structural change that is reshaping the market from its foundation. Placed into a global perspective, the speed of this change is even more remarkable. Across Europe, experts predict that electric vehicles will not surpass gasoline models until approximately the year 2028. In the United States of America, the transition is still hindered by issues of cost, charging infrastructure, and regulatory direction. The fact that China is reaching this turning point 3 to 5 years ahead highlights both the scale of its domestic demand and the determination embedded within its policies. The worldwide auto industry is unmistakably moving into a period of reinvention. As China's sales of new energy vehicles crossed the 50% threshold in 2025, this event is more than a national success story. It marks a powerful declaration that the center of innovation and technological application has shifted, opening a new chapter where electricity increasingly replaces fossil fuels as the main driving force for the vehicles of the future. When looking at the pace of growth in the new energy vehicle market in China over the past few years, it becomes clear that this is no longer a secondary segment, but rather the driving force of the entire industry. From just a little over 1 million units in the year 2018, the market has skyrocketed to more than 12,800,000 vehicles in the year 2024. Entering the year 2025, the momentum continues strongly, with projections ranging from 15,500,000 to 16 million vehicles, equal to a growth rate of about 20% compared to the previous year. This is a level of expansion that would take many traditional industries decades to achieve. Statistics from the first 8 months of the year 2025 reveal that nearly 9,600,000 new energy vehicles have already been sold, making up around 45% of the more than 21 million total cars sold within the domestic market. This figure represents a 36% increase compared to the same period in the year 2024, confirming that growth has shown no sign of slowing down. Especially striking is the performance in June of 2025, when retail sales of new energy vehicles reached 1,110,000 units, a 29.7% jump compared to the same month the previous year, and far exceeding government expectations. This was also the second month of the year to surpass the 1 million mark, proving that demand is not only strong but also consistently stable. Within the structure of the vehicle lineup, pure electric cars dominate clearly. In June of 2025 alone, over 661,000 battery electric vehicles were sold, accounting for 60% of all new energy vehicle sales and growing 33% year over year. Plug-in hybrid models reached roughly 334,000 units, making up 30% with a 32% increase. A newly emerging category, extended-range electric vehicles, achieved 116,000 sales, or about 10% of the market, These proportions reflect a shift in consumer behavior, as buyers increasingly prioritize fully electric options thanks to falling battery costs, longer driving ranges, and an expanding charging infrastructure across the nation. Even more impressive, the penetration rate of new energy vehicles in China is not limited to the national average. In the largest cities, the share is much higher. For instance, in Shanghai, the proportion of new energy vehicles among all cars sold has already surpassed 90%. This demonstrates that the shift from gasoline cars to electric ones is happening rapidly in highly urbanized areas, where charging facilities and supportive policies are being rolled out in unison. Experts suggest that if this pace continues unchanged, by the end of 2025, sales of new energy vehicles in China will surpass those of gasoline-powered cars for the very first time. Should this forecast come true, it will mark a defining milestone not only for the domestic market, but also for the entire global automotive industry. The rapid rise of the new energy vehicle market in China is not a random outcome. Instead, it stems from a combination of policy guidance, infrastructure investment, and market scale carefully prepared years in advance. The first and most crucial highlight is the strong direction set by the government. As early as the beginning of the 2010 decade, China identified new energy vehicles as a strategic industry, similar to the way it once developed the solar power sector or the high-speed rail network. Direct subsidies, tax incentives, and trade-in programs that allowed drivers to replace old cars with new ones significantly lowered the cost of owning an electric vehicle for consumers. In many cities, license plates for electric cars were issued quickly, while gasoline-powered vehicles faced strict restrictions, making electric cars more attractive in terms of both cost and procedure. Running parallel to these policies was massive investment in infrastructure. Today, China possesses the largest network of fast and ultra-fast charging stations in the entire world, accounting for more than 70% of all charging points worldwide. Public chargers have been rolled out across residential neighborhoods, commercial parking lots, and along interprovincial highways, creating a level of convenience that even developed regions such as the United States of America and Europe still struggle to achieve. With millions of charging points connected through smart applications, drivers can easily locate the nearest station, make cashless payments, and monitor their energy expenses. This effectively removes the infrastructure anxiety that continues to slow down electric vehicle adoption in many other parts of the world. Another critical factor lies in the strength of China's domestic market. The country is not only the world's largest automobile manufacturer, but also one of the largest consumer markets on the planet, with more than 32 million cars expected to be sold in the year 2025. Even if only half of them are new energy vehicles, the figure would surpass the combined total of electric vehicle sales in many other regions around the globe. This massive scale allows local manufacturers such as BYD, NIO, XPeng, and Xiaomi to rapidly expand production, reduce costs, and dominate the market. Thanks to this scale effect, electric vehicles in China are far more affordable compared to many international markets, with some models priced as low as $15,000 United States dollars. When these three forces come together, strategic policy guidance, comprehensive infrastructure, and enormous market scale, the explosion of new energy vehicles in China becomes inevitable. This foundation not only enables the nation to exceed its initial goals, but also positions it to lead the world in the unfolding electric vehicle revolution. Within the broader picture of China's new energy vehicle market, one clear trend is emerging. Pure battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, are rapidly becoming the dominant choice, far outpacing both hybrid and plug-in hybrid models. Recent data shows that growth in fully electric cars has reached nearly 40%, compared to the same period last year, while plug-in hybrids remain at just over 30%, and extended-range electric vehicles, or EREVs, account for around 10% of total sales. These proportions prove that Chinese consumers are moving more decisively toward all-electric solutions rather than stopping at transitional technologies. A concrete example comes from June of 2025, when total sales of new energy vehicles reached 1,110,000 units. Of that figure, pure electric cars accounted for 661,000 units, representing 60% of the entire market. Plug-in hybrids reached 334,000 units, equal to 30%, while extended-range models contributed 116,000. What stands out is that pure electric cars are leading both in absolute scale and in percentage growth, demonstrating that this is not a temporary phenomenon, but rather a structural shift. The primary reason lies in the rapid advancement of battery technology and the decline in production costs. Prices for lithium-ion batteries have fallen sharply over the past 10 years, While LFP batteries and ongoing research into solid-state batteries are opening new possibilities for both range and safety, today, mainstream electric models in China can travel between 250 and 400 miles on a single charge, matching or even surpassing many traditional gasoline cars. Charging times have also been dramatically reduced thanks to a vast fast-charging network, where 50 to 70% of the battery capacity can be replenished in just 20 to 30 minutes. Another factor that gives pure electric vehicles the edge is direct government incentives. Many Chinese cities impose strict rules on gasoline cars and sometimes even limit plug-in hybrids, while offering pure electric vehicles price benefits, simplified registration, and privileged access to restricted traffic zones. This approach makes buying a fully electric car not only modern, but also more practical and economical. Consumer psychology has also evolved, with charging infrastructure now widespread and electric car prices falling to match or even undercut many gasoline models. Buyers no longer see hybrid technologies as necessary middle ground. Instead, they are choosing pure electric cars to fully enjoy the advantages of low operating costs, smart onboard technology, and an image tied to modernity and sustainability. The dominance of pure electric vehicles in China sends a powerful signal to the global auto industry. The future of mobility does not lie in hybrid compromises, but in a complete transition toward electricity. The rise of new energy vehicles in China is inseparable from the names of powerful local automakers. Instead of depending on international brands, China has built its own ecosystem of companies, ranging from affordable entry-level cars to premium models that feature cutting-edge technology. These domestic giants are the driving force pushing the market toward the milestone where electric cars surpass gasoline-powered vehicles. BYD is the most prominent name, standing as the largest producer of new energy vehicles worldwide. In the year 2024, the company sold more than 3 million units, securing a dominant share not only in China, but also across global markets. BYD's strategy revolves around delivering both electric and hybrid vehicles at highly competitive prices, with many models starting at just $15,000 beyond vehicles. The company controls its own battery supply chain, ensuring cost stability and reliable production capacity. Its diverse product line-up, from sedans and SUVs to electric buses, enables BYD to cover nearly every market segment, firmly anchoring its leadership position. In the premium sector, NEO has made its mark through innovative battery swapping technology, which allows drivers to exchange batteries within only a few minutes. Equally important is its unique NEO House ecosystem, where customers do more than purchase a vehicle, they join a lifestyle community. Advanced autonomous driving systems and expansion plans into Europe highlight the brand's ambition to go global. The company's annual NEO Day has also become a powerful marketing platform, reinforcing its reputation as a forward-thinking pioneer. XPeng and Leapmotor are two more companies that showcase the vitality of China's electric vehicle startups. XPeng stands out for its heavy investment in artificial intelligence and autonomous driving technology, aiming to compete directly with Tesla. Leapmotor, in contrast, pursues a more budget-friendly strategy, targeting mass-market customers with models priced under $20,000, while still offering smart features. Together, these approaches widen the potential customer base for electric vehicles, expanding market reach across multiple demographics. Xiaomi, a household name in consumer electronics, has also officially entered the new energy vehicle sector. With its advantage in creating a connected ecosystem from smartphones and IoT devices to integrated software services, Xiaomi envisions turning the car into a smart device on wheels. Its arrival not only intensifies competition, but also expands the creative horizons of the entire industry. Taken as a whole, the collaboration and competition among these leading companies form a closed-loop ecosystem, covering everything from batteries and software to manufacturing and distribution. This system not only strengthens China's hold on its domestic market, but also prepares the nation for the coming wave of electric vehicle exports to the global stage. China's success in the field of new energy vehicles is not just a domestic story. It is actively reshaping the global balance of power. With NEV sales in China projected to overtake gasoline cars as early as the year 2025, the country is on track to become the first major market in history to cross this milestone. Meanwhile, other advanced regions remain in a much slower stage of transition. In Europe, electric vehicles have gained strong traction over the past few years, especially in countries such as Norway, Germany, and the Netherlands. Yet forecasts suggest that it will take until around the year 2028 for electric cars to surpass gasoline and diesel models. The main obstacles are the diversity of policies across member states, uneven investment in charging infrastructure, and consumer sentiment still split between pure electric and hybrid solutions. While the European Union has set a target to ban sales of internal combustion cars by the year 2035, the current pace shows that the timeline will still depend heavily on political priorities and macroeconomic conditions. In the United States of America, the transition has been even slower. Sales of electric cars in the year 2024 totaled about 1,200,000 units, representing less than 10% of all new vehicle sales. Despite the strong presence of Tesla and efforts by major automakers like Ford and General Motors, the market faces significant hurdles. Prices for electric cars remain relatively high. The nationwide fast-charging network is far from complete, and divided policies between federal and state levels create uneven implementation. Many analysts believe the United States may require another decade before reaching the adoption levels that China is expected to achieve in 2025. This divergence reflects fundamentally different approaches. China has chosen a strategy of leapfrogging, concentrating both government and private resources to accelerate new energy vehicles into the mainstream standard. In contrast, the United States and Europe have followed a more balanced path, promoting electric adoption while also maintaining transitional technologies such as hybrids. The result is that China now leads by an estimated 3 to 5 years compared to these other markets. The impact extends far beyond sales numbers, with China accounting for as much as 70% of total global NEV sales. The country has effectively become the central force shaping technology trends, infrastructure standards, and supply chain structures. This leadership position creates immense pressure on American and European automakers, who must accelerate their efforts if they want to avoid being left behind in the global competition for the future of mobility. As China's new energy vehicle market reaches a scale that surpasses gasoline cars, the impact extends far beyond its domestic boundaries. This milestone sets off a ripple effect across the globe, influencing everything from supply chains to international trade and industrial competition. One of China's greatest advantages lies in its control over the battery supply chain, the core component of every electric vehicle. At present, Chinese companies manage roughly 75% of the world's lithium-ion battery production capacity. CATL and BYD stand as the two leading suppliers, securing battery availability not only for China's domestic needs, but also for many international automakers. Beyond batteries, China also dominates in the mining and processing of rare earths, lithium, cobalt, and nickel materials that are indispensable for electric vehicle production. By holding these critical links in the chain, China maintains a powerful competitive edge, while other nations continue to struggle in building alternative supply routes. From this strong foundation, China's electric vehicle exports have grown at a remarkable pace. In the year 2024, the country exported nearly 5 million automobiles, with new energy vehicles representing an increasingly large share. Major export destinations include Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Today, many Chinese electric models have already become common choices in markets such as Norway, France, the United Kingdom, and several African nations, thanks to their competitive pricing and diverse configurations. This shift transforms China from a technology buyer into one of the world's foremost suppliers of electric vehicles. The influence also carries geopolitical weight. As new energy vehicles evolve into a pillar industry, China gains a new instrument of global influence. Exporting electric cars delivers not only economic benefits, but also shapes technological standards and infrastructure practices abroad. Fast charging protocols, battery management software, and integrated service ecosystems developed in China are gradually being adopted in multiple countries, indirectly turning domestic innovations into international benchmarks. This mirrors how the United States of America once set standards in information technology and how Europe shaped the global norms of traditional automotive manufacturing. For American and European automakers, China's rise brings mounting pressure to accelerate innovation. Without faster adaptation, they risk losing significant portions of their market share even in their own home markets, as waves of competitively priced Chinese electric vehicles arrive. In other words, China's success in new energy vehicles is not merely a commercial story. It has become a strategic factor with the potential to reshape the entire structure of global competition in the coming decade. As new energy vehicles, NEVs, claim over half the market share in China in 2025, the question is no longer, will they surpass gasoline cars? But what comes next? Current trends suggest that within the next decade, China could widen its lead and set new benchmarks for the global automotive industry. The first focus is long-term growth. Industry forecasts predict that by 2030, NEV penetration in China could reach 65 to 70%, equivalent to roughly 25 million vehicles out of over 35 million new cars sold annually. If this scenario unfolds, nearly the entire domestic market will shift to electric or hybrid vehicles, relegating traditional gasoline cars to a marginal role. This would mark the most significant transformation in the history of the modern automotive industry, unfolding in the world's most populous nation. Beyond scale, technology standards are being redefined. Leveraging its dominance in battery production, China is advancing research into next-generation batteries, such as solid-state, sodium-ion, and lithium-sulfur technologies. These innovations promise to extend electric vehicle ranges beyond 500 miles per charge, while significantly reducing costs and fire risks. If successful, these advancements are likely to become global standards. Much like the fifth-generation telecommunications framework, infrastructure is also pivotal to this future. China already boasts the world's largest charging network, but the next 10 years aim higher, with plans to deploy millions of ultra-fast charging stations across highways and residential areas. Meanwhile, automated battery swapping models pioneered by companies like NIO could become mainstream, allowing drivers to refuel in minutes. As these systems are standardized, other nations may adopt them to ensure compatibility. The international impact is undeniable. With growing export influence, Chinese automakers will bring their charging standards, software, and after-sales services worldwide. This means cities in Europe, Latin America, or Southeast Asia could operate on infrastructure and standards shaped by China, extending the nation's influence through ecosystems, not just products. In this context, the future of the global auto industry may follow an unexpected path compared to a decade ago. China is the hub of innovation and standards, with traditional powers adapting to keep pace. What are your thoughts on this topic? Share them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe to stay updated on the latest analyses of technology, national strategies, and innovations shaping the future. Top 10 Discoveries Official will return with untold stories, projects defying limits, and quiet revolutions with global impact. See you in the next video.